Hello and welcome to For the Love of Self podcast. This is your host, Heather Murphy, certified embodiment coach and trauma informed breathwork facilitator. And here on this podcast, we talk about mental health, motherhood, and manifestation. Today, I'm going to have one of my wonderfulest friends. Yes, I just said wonderfulest because I'm a mom and I've lost all vocabulary. It's just scrambled eggs up in my brain at this point, but one of my very good friends that I get to voice note with every day. So, Shauna is a sacred embodiment and microdosing and breathwork coach who is going to be able to help you through soulful sobriety. I love her story. We only got to chat very briefly. We just literally hopped on a Zoom. It was super casual. It was really fun to just chat about microdosing. So today, if you've been curious about microdosing and how it can not only support you as a mother for your health and wellness journey, I definitely want to encourage you to, of course, listen to the rest of this episode so you can learn a little bit more about Shauna and the work that she does with microdosing, her own story as well. And definitely want to encourage you to go follow her over on Instagram, touch base with her, and learn more. It's been incredibly supportive for me to incorporate microdosing into my life. I've been doing a lot of inner child work. It has helped me with a lot of my irritability. And as a mom, I'm sure you understand that sometimes life is just very overwhelming, and that microdose just kind of sets you steady and easy. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want to invite you to please leave a review and a rate on the podcast. It really does help the podcast get to the top of the recommendations list so that more mothers can benefit from this information that we're trying to share here. So I appreciate you so much. Please feel free to share it on social media. Please feel free to tag me or send me a message or a note letting me know what your takeaways were. I truly hope that you're getting the most out of this as an addition to your self education, your self development, and personal growth so that you can become the best version of yourself that you can be. And before I get this episode started, I also wanted to say I hope that you all have had a happy holiday season. I know sometimes it can be a lot, especially on mothers. And I know that I'm not feeling quite ready to start the new year. And I have felt this way for a long time. And as I learn more about human design and astrology and whatnot, and there's like a calendar, I can't remember, but we're all using this collective calendar that wasn't the traditional calendar. And so anyway, I don't know the exact history. You'll have to look this up yourself, but I feel that in my bones. Like every January, I'm like, but it's winter. I want to rest. And so, if you are someone who is also in the same boat as I am, where maybe you're not quite ready to start those intentions for the new year, AKA resolutions, whatever it is, there is time for that. I'm going to be working on all of that stuff. I'm going to be putting together some episodes for you talking about setting intentions, and showing you what I'm working on. So don't you worry. There is time to get yourself organized. I actually like to spend the month of January getting my year organized. I'm spending time, fleshing out the calendar and, setting my intentions and stuff and really sitting with myself in an embodied way without feeling like, okay, January 1st, I have to get it together. I'm a whole new person. It's not like that. Especially as a feminine person, I just need to be in my flow. So I'm trusting that. With all that, I'm giving you permission to take time this January to just sit with your intentions, ease into them, be in your feminine flow, be in the winter, right? Like allow yourself to rest and take it easy. Um, I'm incorporating naps more into my life this year. That's my intention, but I'll leave that for another episode. We'll talk more about that. I hope you enjoy today's quick little interview with Shauna and that you have a beautiful Friday. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for tuning in today. Today I have Shauna here, one of my BFFs for life, yo. And I'm so excited to have her here because she's really helped me a lot with just having a lot of support in general. But we're going to be talking about microdosing today and some other things as well. We'll just see. We have just a few minutes here to visit. And Welcome, Shauna. Thank you so much. How in the world did you get into microdosing and how has it shaped and changed your life?
Oh my God, that's a really good question. How did I get into microdosing? Kind of got into me, like it found me. I I quit drinking in 2017 and my sobriety was so important to me. So I wasn't interested in altering my mental state for a very long time, even though my partner for years was a what they call a psychonaut and would experiment with LSD and mushrooms. And he encouraged me to take mushrooms with him. And although I knew that their healing capabilities were completely valid, I hesitated for a long, long time. I just really clung to like my clear state of mind. Um, but I kind of couldn't escape it. I had like suddenly, I think it was, I got to think about what year it was, but it was like April, I want to say of 2020 or 22, like recent.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I just all of a sudden was bombarded by like microdosing and I think it was just trending maybe. And so and so my partner kind of took it as an opportunity to be like, look, everyone's doing it. You should do it now. And so I actually ended up trying it and it went really terribly. I didn't know what I
Mm,
was doing. And so I just took, I ended up taking too high of a dose of a strain that wasn't like really working for me. And I had a lot more anxiety while I was on it. Um, I, was trying to navigate my toddler's big emotions and the walls were breathing and it was very dysregulating. It was, whew. But somehow something in me was like, I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to keep experimenting. I'm going to try out different doses and different strains and see what happens. Because if other people are having such amazing success with this, like I really think I can make it work. And so that's just what I did. I ended up finding two really amazing mushroom strains to microdose with, and I just did really low doses. And oh, they're just so beautiful, and I'm still using the same things today. And so what happened was I was getting great success and my friends were asking me like, can you make these for me and can you coach me doing like, can you coach me, like what am I supposed to do, what dose do I take, how often do I take it, when do I take it? And so from that birthed the creation of Magic Mama microdosing. It was really like a very organic process, and so now I get to lead other moms and people through sort of like this really yummy transformational journey with plant medicine, and we get to avoid all of the pitfalls, all of the pitfalls that I went through in the beginning of my journey.
that's beautiful. Yeah, like it's great. You touched on exactly what I wanted to ask you, which is like, how can this, well, maybe you can expand further on this actually, but like, how can this really support moms, especially because I have worked with you personally, so I know, but I just, for the listener, can you expand on that? Like, because it touches on so many different areas of one's life and how it can benefit.
Yeah. So and I work mainly with moms too. So, but it's different for each individual, but what comes to mind is like, today I was at the playground and in the past it's been so hard for me to be playful with my kids. Um but I was on this beautiful microdose today and I was just at the playground on the playground with them and just having so much fun and like really being kid like and nurturing that inner child. And like that's amazing for our kids. Um, so yeah, that and also this medicine evokes, oh man, it's so heart opening and it evokes so much like compassion and empathy within us. That's something that was really missing from my motherhood journey. I kind of was very burnt out. I had a lot of mother rage coming up, like a lot of maybe like resentment. And I also was very sleep deprived. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace, but so I'm still sleep deprived, but but I feel my heart like just expands so much. You know, when I'm working with the medicine, when I'm on the medicine, but also these benefits like they accumulate. So yeah, so the empathy for our children and um allowing us to play. Yeah, it's so great.
It's so nice because I think that, like, I think probably hit on what a lot of moms are going to be like. Oh, yeah. I literally just had this conversation with another mom today about how, like, when my daughter asks me to play Barbies, I'm like, oh, I do not want to do that. I do not. But, like, with microdosing, it's just this, like, sure, like,
Yeah,
I can do that. And then you kind of, like, presence, like, there's more, like, heartfelt presence.
yeah,
Um,
presence
and
definitely.
And so, like, yeah, actually what I'm feeling called to ask you next is like how I feel like some moms might be like, well, I shouldn't have to like microdose to feel that. I should just want to play with my kid. And it's like, no,
Oh my God, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up for feeling that that's not coming naturally. Like, we have such a huge mental load in this culture that we live in society. And so with that, like, you know, to bring in how like a lot of people might decide to drink a glass of wine at night, during the witching hour and stuff, like talking about maybe replacing your microdosing or
Yeah.
replacing your glass of wine with microdosing.
I was just thinking that when you said, when you're on the microdose, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play with you. Because if you're having a glass of wine, you might be like, sure, I'll play with you. But you don't have that presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And um, yeah, and like thinking about, oh gosh, I shouldn't need a microdose to be able to play with my kid. Like, but the microdose is part of it's basically like the the community part that we're missing, you know? Like it's
I do.
as you say, like resourcing,
Yeah.
microsourcing.
That's so good. Microsourcing.
Microdosing is a resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Yeah. A beautiful, clean resource, especially when, we obviously don't have time to go into the negative aspects of alcohol. And Andrew Huberman talks about that plenty. So for the
mhm.
listener, go to Andrew Huberman to learn the science of how like much it's negatively affecting your sleep and your overall well-being. So yeah, like with that, I know we just have like another 2 minutes here. Is there anything else you'd really want to say to the listener to encourage them to maybe explore microdosing? I know you have, or maybe I'm incorrect with this, but I think you have a masterclass on this, just so people can know like what is like what's the dose I would take and like all
Yeah,
that stuff.
I I do. I really actually am feeling called to like redo it, but I do have a couple of recordings that I should probably put out. And then I have the manifestation and microdosing.
Yeah, maybe just touching on like how people can even work with you, how they can get started. I think a lot of people feel like I don't even know how much this is going to cost, or like I don't like it's actually a lot more affordable than you would think, especially if you're buying alcohol every day. Like comparatively,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a lot cheaper than alcohol
Yeah.
per
Okay. Yeah.
dose. Like
So I will say this. Yes. If you are interested in starting a microdosing protocol, and especially if you're looking to swap your alcohol habit with microdosing, um, yeah, the cost of it is comparable
yeah,
to alcohol.
right.
Um, it's nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm like, and I'm available for consultation calls. I do a free call, about a half-hour call with every single person who comes in through Magic Mama, because I want to make sure we get your correct dose and strain and protocol. And I'm always there to support you in any way with integration as well.
Beautiful. Well, I definitely highly recommend people get in touch with Shauna and do a consulting call with you so that they can explore this option, because it has been like profoundly life-changing for me. And I'm not even super disciplined about my microdose, but it's nice because I feel like I'm in your world and then you remind me to take my
Yeah.
microdose, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the best ever. And I actually have, as of today, 1 month sober. So
Oh, oh my God, that's so awesome. When you told me you
yeah,
had 20 days, I was like, oh my God, 20 days. That's crazy. But now
it's
it's
a big deal for me. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
so
thank
awesome.
you.
Congrats.
So yeah, we'll put all the links below so people can get in touch with you. And
Okay.
thanks for just this little mini podcast episode
Yeah,
on
this
microdosing. We're
is
gonna
so
have you back
fun.
to like go super deep and
Yeah,
talk
that'll be
about all the other things.
cool. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you found this episode helpful in any way, I want to invite you to send it to someone who would benefit from it. Also, consider leaving a rate and review for the podcast, as it really does help the podcast get to the top of the recommendations list, so that even more people can get on the self-love train. Come follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at fortheloveof.self. That's at fortheloveof.self. Shoot me a message and let me know what your favorite takeaways were. I love meeting new people and watching them grow. And thank you again so much for tuning in today, as it really is an honor to be here with you. We'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and of course, don't forget to subscribe.